Yo, what's up, everybody? Just doing a little unboxing today for you guys. Going to address some of the stuff that's been said and heard in the industry. I got my phone here for comments and that kind of stuff. Um, so, as you may have heard, probably have heard, the ultimate endgame blind bags uh, have been making waves through the industry, and not really in a good way, right? Um, they many either retailers or other stores. Sorry, I'm trying to get situated here. Um, have been getting them either damaged, misshipped, or mispacked. Um, a lot of damages, spine rolls, cornered bends, so on and so forth, right? You guys have probably seen a couple other YouTube videos out there. The biggest one right now, I think, is my guy over at Big Clutch, who kind of did, I think he only got 100 or so, but he had two different cases. One was like 50 something and the other was 40 something, whatever. He got 100 bags, and both of the two cases were, and I feel like this is a lot of what we're seeing is when he's opening the cases. You guys can go check him out, go check out his video and what he's talking about. But the biggest issue right now that we're seeing is when you open your cases, the first great thing on a positive note is they are still double boxed, right? PRH or Penguin Random House does a great job with it's a box within a box or a case within a case where it's got packing all around the inner case. When you open your main case on the inside, you do have some extra packing paper in there. So that's a good sign. They're still doing what they should be doing in that regard. However, when you finally start taking out all that packing from the interior case to reveal your blind bags, what we're seeing is a lot of the bags, whether it was prepped this way in packing or shipping, or it's movement while being shipped, we're seeing that a lot of these bags are kind of intermixed, where they're not two flat stacks. They're almost, and Clutch even said, it's like a deck of cards when you shuffle, right? You're kind of interlacing them, the spine over the edge, open edge of the other, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And that's a big issue. What starts happening when that occurs is you kind of start getting all of your books are raising on either the spine edge of the right side or the open edge on the left side. And as you start doing that, rather than laying nice flat, you're going to start seeing that roll, right? Another thing, and again, I referenced Clutch. His was probably one of the best videos I saw so far out there. Is especially in his two cases, he had, right when he opened both of his cases, he had two nice stacks. Nice, if I can use that word lightly. He had two stacks, and as he was pulling bags out, after maybe 10 or 15 bags on either side, which is crazy, you had maybe 5 to 10, well, how do I want to say it, landscape rather than portrait. So you had two portrait stacks, and then you had a stack of maybe 5 or 10 going the complete opposite way. And this is just another huge issue. And again, you can see it in his video where he'll pull that landscape stack out, and they are just so warped from being on top of that, what we talked about first, that first bend. Now you have a stack that's going this way, and it's totally bending whatever those stacks are. And this is going to be, I don't know if people have really made comments. I haven't really seen anything yet. Feel free to comment, to ask questions as we start doing this. You'll see here as we get into this, I already have two cases that we've opened yesterday. We had some eBay orders and some other stuff that we had to grab a handful of copies out, some pre-order eBay orders, that kind of stuff. So we have already opened two cases, and I will say right off the bat, I have not seen any issues thus far, Okay. However, I still have, you can kind of tell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 more cases to go through. I saw your comment already, Dan. I saw that one a while ago. Um, so I will say, as a caveat, one of these cases I believe to be a full case of the blanks, the blue line blanks, which we'll get to that if I happen to open that case here. I just didn't want to open anything in that regard as far as if they were blind bags, I wanted them to stay sealed. So if I happen to open that on camera here, we'll talk about that when we get there. All right. So I ordered a grand total of 700 blind bags. If you happen to be watching this later and you're new to Clan McDonald Comics, I do a ton of pre-sales, especially for all these blind bags. These blind bags have been going absolutely crazy through the industry. It's the biggest thing right now. Everyone wants to get in on it. Marvel's doing it. Image just did it. Obviously, Mark Spears is the gigantic one. And speaking of which, we just did, I think it was last week, his winter bags came out. Have not seen any issues with that. Maybe some, when you actually open them, some cover issues, which is normal. You're never going to get a full case of 9/8. I don't think. I think that's pretty few and far between. But out of, I think I got 400 or 500 of those, maybe a small handful of, either cover rub or like what looked like kind of fingernail marks on foils or stuff like that. Nothing super major, but Dynamite is doing great. Dynamite bags have been awesome. Their 3-book bags are by far, I think, the best. I forget the right word, but kind of distribution of cover variants. When we opened their Lion King bags, that was a 3-book bag. We opened, I think it was 4 or 5 bags right out of the case, and right off the first stack of the case, and we got all different variants, not a single duplicate out of the first handful of bags. And if I remember right, it was a blank, a ratio incentive variant, and just a regular cover variant. It wasn't until we started getting into the double digits where I think there's just a mix of 4 different colored blanks you can get. Actually, there's some back here. So maybe three different cover variants, blank variants. So there's the green, the purple, the orange. So it wasn't until we started getting into the higher double digits where we were getting duplicates of these, which it's expected, right? There's only a 3 or 4 variant range, I guess, for lack of a better term. So you're obviously going to get multiple different duplicates of the blanks. But as far as the actual covers go, the covers themselves, a lot of ratios, a lot of 1 in 25s, a lot of 1 in 50s. The Hetrick cover is awesome. So as far as that goes, very, very nice distribution as far as cover variants go. So I think that's really all I wanted to kind of preface as we get into this. Again, it's basically an open forum video, if you want to call it that. Feel free to pop comments in the chat if you want to. I'm actually going to switch this over. We're going to see how this is going to go. There's my nice overhead cam. Some stuff has shifted a little bit, but so this was the first case that we had opened to grab some of our eBay stuff out of, our eBay pre-sales, eBay pre-orders, whatever. And so you can see what I was talking about as far as inner and outer casings go, right? So Penguin is always very good as far as double boxing like this. You guys can't really see me from there. Double boxing like this, packing on the outer edge here. They're always really great. Double walled boxes on the inner case. You guys can see that. Their outer case is a single but their inner cases are always this double-walled corrugated board, which is great. You know, they take a lot of pride, as they should, as far as the materials and stuff that they use. So getting into the actual first case, if I stick my finger down the center, I can already tell I'm maybe however many bags this is, maybe 10 bags or so, before my finger stops and I can't go further, because there's a bag that's either overhead this way or this way that's stopping me from going further down. So that kind of gets into what we were talking about before. And you can tell right there. So that bag right away, you can even see the bend right here, is already a bad sign, right? Another issue that we're seeing is another thing that Clutch talked about in his video. Again, definitely go watch it. It's a great video. I don't think, and I think he's right in saying, I don't think they adjusted their box size from their normal shipping raw unbagged books to shipping these blind bags, right? And obviously you have tolerances. They have specific boxes. They made specific boxes for their regular shipping, raw comics and so forth. How many in a case? I honestly, Wallace, I think it varies. I don't think it's the same exact in every single case, but I could be wrong. We could at some point go through and actually count how many's in a case. Like I said earlier, I ordered 700 total. It's probably near 100 in a case, maybe a little bit more, because I have what looks like probably 6 or 7 cases. So as far as the stack that I pulled out goes, they look fine, right? Right off the top, or I guess somewhat on the top because we pulled our other stuff earlier. They look fine. But getting back into the tolerances, the clearance that I was talking about and that Clutch talked about, is I don't think they adjusted for their box size. So another thing we're seeing is that these are fairly tight within the case, where normally you would have raw books inside and there would be a little bit of room, maybe some packing around the books themselves and so forth. So getting down to the point where I could not go further, again, right off the top, it looks fine. I'll put those to the side. I'm not going to open up any of these. It is still prior to street date, and that is a whole other live video that I won't get into. Again, more of the same. It looks okay. So it looks like just right off the bat from the first case, we're pretty fortunate so far. But now here we get to what I was talking about earlier. This is where I couldn't go further down the middle, where I should have a nice split all the way through. And in most cases, they'll actually have a almost like a chipboard, or even just like a small piece of whatever cardboard, fiberboard you want to call it, through the center of the books. For these blind bags, I'm not seeing that. And I think that's another issue where that is, if that board were here, it would be preventing this 100%, right? You wouldn't have no overlap like I was talking about. You have no issues with that. But we're not seeing that. So right now, you can kind of see, there you go. That's what happens. So I can guarantee at least these three, you can definitely feel it in the bag, are going to have that spine curl or that spine roll, whatever you guys call it in the industry. So that's what's going on there. I'm going to put those off to the side. Pay no attention to the phone ringing in the background. No, Dan, that is incorrect. Even though it's still before street date, As far as the latest DC/lunar public notice, you cannot even open and show before street date, as far as I'm concerned. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please let me know. But that's how I interpreted that last notice, I guess you want to, public notice, or not public, I guess, retailer notice. So again, that's a whole other video, a whole other topic for another time, if I even want to get into it. There are some other videos out there that do a great job of explaining how I feel about it. You guys can, feel free to go search for those videos. But getting back into this again, this one seems okay. But you can see actually on this side of that, you can see it's been squished against the side of the box. So I'll have to open this one off camera and see what that actually looks like. So I'll put that in my potentially no-go stack. So again, getting to the bottom of the box, the rest of this looks okay. It's going to be a little bit longer of a video than clutches, because I got quite a bit more. So we're going to just kind of fly through these and talk about it as we go through that. So again, looks okay. The rest of these look okay. Yeah, and we're at the bottom. So this is the board I was kind of talking about earlier. Normally there's a half sheet of this, or even like a full sheet, that will split the difference between the two sides. And we're not seeing that in these blind bag boxes, right? So I'll put these back in. And again, if I were the one packing these, this is how it's going to go, right? You're hand packing these, you're hand stacking them. And even then, you can see there's not a lot of clearance, not a lot of tolerance. Obviously, these are all hand packed cases. There's not a lot of clearance for me to drop this down carefully without my fingers pressing on the other side. So just another potential issue there. Again, you can see all these tips on both top and bottom are starting to fold up, because while there might be a little bit of a clearance, all it takes is one bag to flip up like this, and it's going to cause the rest of them on top to start doing the same thing. So you're going to start seeing a lot more either corner bends or stuff like that. What's up, Nathan? Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. I'm going to keep these off to the side. Like I said before, these were some of the, not that one, but trying to show you on camera there. You can see that corner or edge issue there. So out of a full case, 3 or 4, not horrible, right? Definitely not horrible. So we'll move on to the next one. Again, like I said, we had to open some earlier. I had my guys check one yesterday, an extra one. So again, right off the bat, no top packing, no board separating the two stacks. So this was obviously a full case at some point. What is in a full case, I don't know. So those look good. But here again, I can already feel almost the same. You get about anywhere between 10 and 15 bags down, and you can see this one is up. It's in between 2 other bags, so it's already starting to roll. You can see this is lower than this edge, right? That corner is lower than this edge. So it's already starting to do this in this case. Those are okay. And there's the one that was blocking the top. And I can already tell there's more below it, right? So all of these. So something at the bottom, even further down, is causing this edge to do this. It's coming up back here. As far as the actual books go, though, they look okay. But you know, the bags are what tell the story. This whole bag is bent up. The corners. Oh, I'm trying to show you. The corner's bent up. The whole edge of the bag is bent. So yeah, I mean, so that's what we're talking about. Nathan is a lot of guys are putting out videos like this, and I kind of wanted to jump on that train because we did order quite a few. You know, I'm not one of those guys that ordered like 10,000 or more, but you know, 700 I think is a pretty big order, right? So so these were the ones that were kind of going up. You can kind of tell. It's kind of hard to tell probably on camera, but you can kind of tell just from how these are sitting. They have a slight warp almost. You can kind of tell on camera, but I'll put those off to the side. Again, you can see how much lower, maybe not on camera, but from where I'm sitting, this whole right side, it's like part of your house foundation went down. So this whole right side of the whole case is, which is a problem, right? No, pull box ones have not been pulled yet. Mainly because of this. I wanted to do a video on this. I wanted to kind of do a live unboxing, just to kind of show, and anyone that wants to watch it later can watch it. I might even put it on our YouTube channel. But again, like right here, I'm stuck. I can't go further than the next couple bags right here. So no, the pull box ones have not been pulled. The the pre-order or pre-claim, whatever you want to call it, pre-order claim posts have not been pulled. So as far as these go, they still look okay. But now this one is like way out, and this is probably 20 bags down, way out into the other edge of this. So anyway, we're going to speed this up. I got like 5 more cases to go through. You can see how far this one is overlapping on the left side, which again is one of the biggest issues we're seeing, right? Look at that corner. That book is not flat at this point. And while it may not cause corner bends or anything like that, you now have a book, and I'll just do it with this one. You now have a book that instead of being completely flat is now bent or curved or curled or however you want to call it. Yeah, right, Rob. Free blind bags for everybody. It'll be like Oprah. You get a blind bag. So thankfully, what I'm not seeing, that was one of Clutch's biggest issues, was I'm not seeing any books, and I'll kind of demonstrate it here. When he got down to a certain point in his box, he had some that were like this, which is like so outrageous to me. How someone could pack a brand new comic distribution box or case and do that is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. Because he was opening some cases, and I'm not going to actually physically move them, but he was getting some like 5 or 10, like I mentioned earlier, that he picked it up and it was just completely warped from sitting on this edge. And it was bad. It was real bad. So again, getting down to the bottom of the case, we look okay. Again, I'm still getting that rise in the middle. So still an issue with the bags and the tolerances and the clearance. But overall, again, maybe a small handful of potential issues, but nothing crazy out of that case. So those were the 2 cases that we had previously opened yesterday. Like I said, to get some eBay pre-orders out. And if you happen to be watching this and you were one of the eBay pre-order people from when we posted these long ago, rest assured that we pulled good copies for you, clean copies for you, right? I'm not gonna just pull some off the top and cross my fingers and hope they're okay. So next, I don't know what's in this case, so if it's random new release comics, you guys will be the first to see. The other thing, I'm going to cover the name. Penguin likes to put these in all of their cases. So I covered up the actual name, but it does have a specific packer's name on here. So it's something that if we end up seeing issues, it's something I can go back to my rep, or other retailers can go back to their rep and say, hey, so-and-so packed this. You might want to check in on, or work on how they're boxing stuff up, right? So it's just another kind of quality control that Penguin likes to do. So opening the case, again, this is usually what we see on a Penguin case. And on this one, you can already tell there's blind bags sticking out of the cardboard sheet underneath. And you lift this up, and what do we see? I can already see right off the bat. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. I'm going to see if I can zoom this. See that crease on that top bag? It goes from top to bottom on that whole bag, which is concerning. This whole crease right here. So again, you're seeing stuff this is going to be a rough box. I can already tell. This is going to be a rough case, because these were here, and if I lift this up, look where this next edge is. It's probably right here on the next stack here. There's that crease. Am I still one? No, I'm good. Yep, that's exactly what I said earlier, Nathan. That is exactly what I said earlier. They did not allow for clearance. Like these are the cases in this one, actually. I gave them praise for their inner boxes being double walled. This is a single wall box. So they kind of switched it on this one. Double wall outside, single wall inside, which is the opposite of what we saw earlier. Again, right off the bat, I can already tell that's a damage. You have a whole crease. I don't know if you can see that on camera. You have a whole crease there. Actually, quite a few. So this whole stack is going to go in my potential damage. You can see the crossover, right? If you're just joining us, what I put it as an example earlier, and what Clutch did as well, is it's almost like you're shuffling a deck of cards, right? Where it's some books on top, some books on top, and they're overlapping, which is not a good sign. It's not a good way to pack. There's no way for them to get one of these in between like they normally do. Even if it's just a thin sheet like this, it always helps that crossover, or stop that crossover rather. So this is going to be a rough box. You can kind of feel a little bit of a lip raise there. Again, hard to see on camera, but you can see these are a little bit like that. We get down a little further. Like this is, I shouldn't have to put a fingernail or something in here to get this next bag out. That's how tight this one is. And this one is actually, what it feels like, it's bending the other way. It's bending down. It is 100%, it's industry wide. And I think it was, like, look at how tight this is. I can't even get this bag out without getting underneath and pulling this one out. And these ones, you can feel it 100% right off the bat. Instead of being bent up, these are bent down. These are rough. So these are going in my bad step. It's just, again, you can see the overlap. It's not good. It's not a good thing. Look at two comics, blah, 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 on top. This is a stack of, look at, then I got some upside down. These actually seem somewhat okay. So these will go in my decent, quote unquote, stack. These might be okay. These are not. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Again, we have this warp, right? So, damn autocorrect. That will cause major bends. Yep. Bends, spine breaks, spine ticks, color breaks, corner bends, anything like that. It's rough. These were also packed from the printer to Penguin and could have already been damaged then too. 100%. You never know. From the printer to the distributor, then shipping to us, you never know, right? I don't know how they're originally packed from the printer, then to PRH. I don't know if they're shipped in big cases on pallets. I don't know if they're shipped like this. I don't know. No, it's just the bag. It is just the bag. There is no bag and board. It is just a comic in a bag. So you also start running into issues. You can see even just on the bag, there's some markings here. You run into cover rub, color rub, I guess. Cover and color rub, same kind of difference. Again, spine issues, that kind of stuff. But again, these are super tight in the case. Upside down. Oh, double upside down. So, you know, you can see how rough the bags themselves are. And I'm not saying like, I'm not anticipating 100% pristine full cases of bagged comics, mystery bags, or whatever. But it's, you can see how far this one is away from the edge of the box. That's probably half an inch. And when we're talking about box clearances and comic shipping in cases, a half an inch is a lot of room. And it's half an inch, not necessarily on the wrong side, but it should be top and bottom. You should have more clearance on the top and the bottom of the box, just like this, where you can still put maybe a sheet or two of this fiber board or this corrugated board, you know, on the outer edge, one in the middle, and then on the outer edge, and even maybe on the top and the bottom. I know that's a lot more work for PRH, but when it's something like this, look at how scrunched and look at. Guarantee you those aren't sharp corners. No chance. No chance. So I'm going to put this stack off. Out of that case, I told you that was going to be a rough case. This was my probably not good stack. This is going to go back here. So out of that whole case, which was not, this was a smaller box for sure, but those are my potentially good ones. We'll move on to the next one. Steve, I see your message. I'll check that real quick. Hang on. I see. I'll double check that later. I think someone also mentioned that. Did I miss? No, I thought someone mentioned it earlier. I know Dan brought it up with potentially opening and selling, which is you can sell still bagged, still sealed bags before street date, but you can't ship them out before street date, which is the bottom line. And I don't necessarily want to get into that. Like I said, it's a whole other issue, whole other topic. So there you go. That is the top of the next case. Same like we saw before. This is what's normally, like I said, I'll say it again. This is what's normally between stacks of regular PRH comics or regular PRH cases when we receive them. Right now, that's where that stops. And I'm maybe 5 comics down. So just bringing up that issue again. Yeah, my fingers are the same. I can feel where it stops right there. But right off the top, these seem okay. No obvious issues or anything. I'm going to get some of that paper out of the way so I can stack these on the side. You know, Logan, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if this is a different bag supplier than who they used prior. And with the whole industry-wide crazy thing with blind bags and how they're going with the Daredevil that's coming out in March, I really, really hope they take heed of all these videos, all this feedback that everyone's giving. You know, we just have to wait and see, right? Holiday Punch. So, yeah, I don't know if they used a new supplier. These seem okay. One thing I guess I didn't touch on, you can see where the crossover started right there. One thing I didn't touch on was the actual tolerance inside the bag. One thing that I think is new to this bag, I could be wrong, and if anyone is in the chat that can correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, bags are crimped on both edges, just like a TCG pack or anything like that. But I think this is less room on the top and the bottom of these bags than in prior blind bag releases. From what it feels like, at least to me, that's the case. As far as left and right side, it's normal. You know, you have maybe 1/4 of an inch extra clearance, which is normal. And I actually applaud that because I don't want them super tight in these bags. But that's what I'll say on that. Corona Monster bags were done great. Yeah, so monster bags are always distributed by Lunar. Because Keen Spot is with Lunar distribution at this point. And Lunar is, I don't know. I go back and forth, but we won't get into it. So that's my first crossover book here. I'll pull that one out. Again, guarantee that's not a sharp corner here. You can see how bent up that bag edge is. Then we get into, again, it's probably really tough to see on camera. I wonder if maybe if I tip this out. And I'm only going to do this once, but see how much lower that right side of the box is than the middle? That's what's causing a lot of these issues. And like I said, I mentioned it earlier. That was kind of just to show you guys what I'm looking at because it's tough to see on camera. I'm really tempted, but for time's sake, I'm not going to do it. From the crease of the box, we're looking at that on the right side and here on the middle. So it's probably at least an inch difference. So much lower here because these are interlaced and it's pushing the middle of these books up. So the main reason I wanted to do this, I was getting tons and tons of comments and messages, private messages. You know, did we open them yet? Did I see all the other videos? You know, what are we going to do if I get damages and yada yada? Well, the nice thing is, because I haven't seen a ton of potential damages just yet, I should be clean and clear. Like I said, I ordered 700 of these things, so I don't foresee any issues. This one I'm putting off to the side. How do you like that? Same thing with these. And again, this is caused by the interlacing of these two rows, or these two stacks, you know, for lack of a better term. And what happens is they just start pushing. And once this edge, you can see if I'm just holding this on top here, if this edge starts getting pushed up from the weight of what's on top and from being, you know, all these interlaced comics underneath, you're going to start getting this bend. I'll just do it to these. You're going to start seeing this in the cases, and that's the biggest issue right now. I was going to say earlier, luckily I have not seen anything like Clutch saw in his, where, well, here you go. These are not flat, ladies and gentlemen. These are all curved. Again, probably a little tough to see on camera, but again, does that automatically mean they're damaged? I have no idea. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the game, where you're never going to know until you actually open them. Is there a high potential of spine ticks, color breaks? Yeah, unfortunately. You know, the further you bend a cover from top to bottom, the higher the likelihood of, luckily these are on the open edge, and not on the spines, but you know, if you were to do that on this edge, the higher the likelihood of your color breaks, your spine ticks, spine stresses, new release tolerances. Yeah, 100%. So anyone that pre-ordered these either via our Managed Comics pre-order program, these are automatically going in my bad stack. These are bad. There you go. If you want someone to take a screenshot of it, take a screenshot now. That's the bottom of the box. A lot I saw had spine ticks. That's tough, Dan. I mean, if it's fairly obvious, like I can feel where the staple is, but unless there's actually, I can feel one right there. So that answers your question. I can feel one right there. So yes, that answers your question. Yes is your answer. So yeah, right there. Which is odd because I don't feel one in that same spot on the next one. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Where was that? That was here. So how's that for a warp? Bad stack. These actually look okay. And these actually look okay. So again, a handful out of that case. Nothing super major. Could we still sell these, you know, for a couple bucks a piece? Yeah, probably. But can you feel which are foiled? Not by the bag alone. What a smart thing they did, and I'll see if I can show you one. Yeah. So I'm not going to show you the actual cover, but a smart thing that they did on this one, we did open a few just to check for damages right off the bat, is if you have not seen this yet, this is brand new to this blind bag. and it is a front and back, basically comic sleeve with gaps for the staples. So it's not actually stapled to the book. It just kind of goes over the book. So you can't feel if it's a foil. You can't feel if there's something in it. This is in every single bag. So front and back, that's in every single bag. So you can't feel if there's foil or, like I said, anything else. Heard and seen that a ton are beat up and ticked. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing this stream for, Dan. We're going through a few boxes. Yep. All right, let me repack this one real quick. I got a couple more, I think, to go through. I'm going to fly through those solely for time's sake. Obviously, we're a comic shop, and I got other stuff to do, but this was just kind of a fun little experiment, if you will. And I don't know, let's just go for this one. Like I said, there might be a case of blanks in here. If we open that case, we'll get to that, because I saw a few things on the blanks as well, which is concerning. This one actually has the invoice in it, which my guy needs. Check-in purposes. So every time you get something like that, don't screenshot my account number, please. And packing materials and packing itself is usually pretty awesome. You know, much better than Diamond ever was. That's something I can definitely applaud them. So here are what looks like the blanks. So I'm going to talk about this super quick. Right off the bat, that's the top copy. So this would certainly be one that if someone was getting graded, I'd either grade it with CBCS art. There's some color rub by the staples, spine stresses. One thing I've been seeing on the blanks, and if my one artist buddy is watching this now or later, you're gonna see some basically cover wear on some of these, and I'll kind of go through this. This is what I was talking about. You see how these are separated? A+, PRH. This should be in every single case, regardless of what you're shipping out. This should be in every single case that you're shipping out. This is the divider I was talking about. A+++. Separates the two columns, doesn't allow for overlap, keeps your edges sharp. Nothing's going to happen to them, right? However, that was the top copy, and I don't know how that almost looks like it was damaged like that while it was being packed, because the next copy looks fine. So as far as the blanks themselves go, there's a little bit of what I was talking about earlier. Try and show it on camera. From what I've been told from my guys up front who actually deal with this stuff, they're telling me it just is erasable. So I don't know if it's just dirt that's been ingrained or what the case may be, but from what I'm being told is it actually just comes off with an eraser. So these look okay. This one has a little bit more of that I was talking about. So anyway, as far as the blanks go, that's all I wanted to talk about with the blanks. If you're an artist, certainly double check what you're buying before you buy it, and go from there. So that's Lunar. We're not even going to open that one. Let's go with this one. 2 more cases, folks. 2 more cases. And one of these, again, might be some more blanks. It might be something else. So if it is, we'll just fly through it. Need to sharpen my knife. Again, more packing on top, which is great. Always applaud it. And they always have this top layer. If you're cutting into everything like I always do, and I would say 99% of what people do, there's more blanks. Okay. And once again, top copy, cover rub, you got to bend. So this is turning into more of a PRH general. I'm not even bending this by any means. So it's warped, not only the whole book, but then on the edge here. And that's from the books naturally settling like this. So something's got to change, whether that's box size or putting something in the middle, like putting something in the middle on the bottom of this, where it'll naturally, as you're starting to place books on top, will kind of push the middles of the books up. I don't know. I digress. But last case here. Yeah, right, Armando. Right. Well, actually, with CGC, you never know. So, last case here. We'll fly through. Again, more packing on top. Pop this open real quick. And it is more blind bags. And what look like cap marks. So maybe we got X amount of cases and that was their way of numbering. This is box 5 of however many they're supposed to get. I really don't know. So again, that's great. So I don't cut into the product, which is, you see that everywhere. But right off the bat, it seems same thing. I can only get about 1.5 inches to 2 inches down before I stop here. And I'll grab one of these just to show you guys. That's it. That's as far as I can go without getting stopped. And that is right there. So that's 1 inch. That's 1 inch all day long. And again, if you're just joining us, what that means is some of these bags are interlaced, they're crossed over each other. Right? So move these. These look okay. Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Wouldn't be a stream without Steve making comment. Those look okay. And here was where the issue was. You can see that this bag was lipped up and it was over the other there. Right? So that's bad. Fly through. Those look okay. Those look okay. Corners look okay. Nothing's bent. Obviously, you're always going to have, that the bag wear. That's just normal shipping. But right here, we're starting to see, once again, this corner here is probably 1 inch lower than the middle right here. So we're going to start seeing some issues pretty soon. Packaging should be way better. Every 15 books, the spine should be turned. So as you can see, like I just pulled these, I think, off of that side. So what you're saying is true. They do that to an extent. I don't know about every 15 books, but every handful of books flip flop, and that's normal. Either flip flop or they do back to front covers. So stack of 15 upright, stack of 15 face down, so on and so forth. It's usually one or the other. But right now, I can tell you, there's a bag. And that's 2 of them. So those are going in my bad stack. Which actually it looks like 1, 2 more bend. Take some of these out. This one was just interlaced. You can see this is all bent up. Bad stack. Once again, this was interlaced at some point. How's that? Completely crunched. Completely crunched. So most of these are okay. This one, no good. Once again, interlaced. That's bent up. Bad. Just trying to fly through this last box. We'll get it all closed up and let you guys get on your merry ways. But these look okay. That's a bad one. Look at the bend. Bad. These are okay. Starting to see a little bit, because of the unevenness, you're starting to see a little bit of this full length comic bend or curl, which this is what's going to start causing your spine stresses, your spine creases, color breaks, etc. I can actually feel, I don't know if that's a staple right here or an actual bad spine stress. I won't know. That's going to go in the bad stack. So just a lot of things to look out for. If you're a retailer, if you're a wholesaler, you're getting this stuff from these distributors. That's a bend, bad stack. So like Steve said, there's another bend, bad stack. I'll be going through these with a pretty fine-tooth comb for the next, I don't even know, handful of minutes, potentially longer, just to make sure anyone who pre-ordered or ordered from us is going to get good copies. Again, you're starting to see, when you get toward the bottom, you're starting to see a little bit of this. Oh, I'm really close to the camera. Can I zoom this out a little bit? No, that's it. Is the full length comic bend. So instead of being flat, it's kind of starting to get like this. So do I technically consider those damages? Not really, unless you get to finally opening them and it does have a spine tick, spine crease, color break, etc. Then obviously that's the issue. Here's your next crossover, which is actually, look at that. Look at that. That's the bottom of the case. So no wonder this whole case was raised. Look at how much this is being bent up. Just because they decided to just throw a stack basically right in the middle. Okay. We're seeing a lot of these issues, right? That's the end of that case. If you guys are seeing this, if you pre-ordered or ordered from another retailer or another store like us, first of all, shame on you. You should have ordered from me. But just watch out for what you're buying. Make sure you guys are getting clean copies. Make sure they were vetted. If other retailers have a policy like we do, all of our new release comics that go out to either pre-orders or even website orders, we guarantee everything's 9.2 or better, or money back, basically. If something happens to sneak out that's not a 9.2 or better. That's what I've been saying, Nathan. That's what I've been saying. If just like in that blank box, that piece of cardboard that split the difference, it's all they needed. It would have lessened so much of this. I probably wouldn't even be making a video, but anyway, that's really it. We've been going for over an hour. At least I think so. Just watch out for what you guys are buying. Penguin, PRH, I hope not that you're ever going to see my video. But I hope you guys are taking heed of these issues. I hope you're seeing a video, if not a couple videos. I hope you're going to learn for the Daredevil bag, anything in the future for this next coming year that you guys are going to do. But as far as you guys as customers go, watching or watching later, again, just take heed, be aware. There are issues, at least with this blind bag, and I don't know in the future. Um, you know, don't don't hesitate to, again, if you bought them from some other retailer or some other shop, please don't hesitate. Be a little bit of a nuisance and say, hey, I heard, Penguin had all these issues with this bag. Can you please make sure mine are of the better quality? However you guys want to word it. I wouldn't take offense to that as a manager here at CMC. Steve certainly wouldn't be upset with a question like that, because this is such a glaring and major issue, right? So, anyway, that'll do it for this one. Oh, Justin, rewatch the video, buddy. Rewatch the video. I'm just about to close up. I opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases, 700 total, 6 cases. So you guys can do the math on estimated per case. So if you guys have questions, you guys are concerned, message me, click my face on wherever Facebook is that you can find me. Message Steve if you have concerns. Email us if you're local. Give me a call. I don't care. But that's it. I just wanted to kind of address some of the issues, answer any questions, which there were some questions in the chat, which was great. Also, if you guys like watching this kind of stuff, let me know. I love, while it does take away from what I normally do during the day as the manager here at CMC, I enjoy doing them, especially when it's such a big issue like this. And we are, I say a smaller store, but I feel like we're a fairly large retailer who orders 700, 800 blind bags or blanks or whatever. So I enjoy doing them. If you guys enjoy watching them, let me know. I think we're also going to start doing some like slab unboxings when we get them back from submissions. That's going to be really fun, especially now that I have this kind of setup going on, top down. I think it's pretty cool. We're finally getting a little bit with the times here in almost 2026, right? So that's it. That's it for this one. Guys, if we don't see you, we're not doing a show with Spencer this week. The claim post is up. Guys, please go check out all those, that OA post that Steve put up. I think it was yesterday. Danny Mickey sketches, sketch covers, etc. Go check it out. Stuff's going fast. I also think he just dropped a few prices on some stuff that did not go so far. But go check it out. If we don't do another live before the new year, guys, be safe. I say it all the time. Be safe. I hope you have a nice, genuine time with family, with friends. Please be safe. No drinking and driving. If you are going to be driving, please be safe. That's really it. Yeah, I think that's it. Peace out, y'all.